In the shadowy depths of geopolitics, a silent but seismic shift is unfolding. Imagine a power so strategic, its moves could change the course of history, yet it's hidden beneath layers of deception. What if the very foundation of influence in one of the world's most volatile regions is evolving faster than anyone anticipated? Here's the shocking truth: Romania, once a quiet partner on NATO's eastern flank, has rapidly transformed into a formidable security powerhouse. Since January 2026, this nation has stepped into a role that was unthinkable just a few years ago. No longer merely protecting its borders, Romania now asserts itself as the primary guardian of the Black Sea. This isn't just a bureaucratic shift, it's a military revolution backed by steel, guns, and relentless planning. In recent months, satellite images and intelligence reports have revealed massive infrastructure developments at Mikhail Kobalnikianu Air Base, the scope and scale rivaling some of NATO's largest logistical hubs. This new facility isn't your average military installation. It's a cutting-edge command center, designed for rapid deployment, storage, and repair of advanced weaponry, much more than just a depot for ammunition. It's a logistical powerhouse with a secret mission: to revolutionize how aid reaches Ukraine. Imagine missiles, artillery, and electronic warfare systems flowing seamlessly, bypassing traditional bureaucratic delays. This facility is equipped with a high-speed operations system called the Priority Ukraine Requirements List. Once entered, a weapon system can be on its way to the battlefield in hours, whether a missile battery or a tactical radar. No more waiting for approvals or signatures. Every second counts in modern warfare. But the true game-changer isn't just logistics, it's the strategic architecture. Romania is creating a chain of supply routes, one south through Romania, one north through Poland. This dual approach cripples Russian plans by eliminating vulnerabilities. If Russia focuses on Polish corridors, Romanian supply lines will push forward, fueling Ukraine's southern fronts, Crimea, Donbas, Kherson. Yet, if they attack the southern routes, the northern lines will reinforce Kiev and Kharkiv, an impossible dilemma. This network's robustness is reinforced by an almost invisible shield, the Aegis Ashore missile defense system at Deveselu. Known for its precision and stealth, this shield makes the logistics centers nearly untouchable, an impregnable fortress in plain sight. Moscow's repeated threats and attempts at sabotage only confirm one thing: fear. The ripple effects extend beyond military logistics. This corridor now serves as Ukraine's survival lifeline, delivering energy, exports, and hope. Russia's blockade strategies faltered grain, aid, and vital supplies bypassed traditional choke points, rendering Moscow's tactics ineffective. But perhaps most worrying for Russia is the regional domino effect. Moldova's fragile stability is dissolving under this new pressure. Transnistria's separatist plans face an effective counter. Romanian strategic placement neutralizes Russian hybrid warfare and limits influence. Russia is losing ground, their key tools are shrinking, their influence waning. All of this signals a profound awakening across Europe. The continent is no longer dormant after the Cold War. Leaders are pouring billions into defenses, constructing new borders, and modernizing armies. Poland is forging an eastern fortress, anti-tank trenches, minefields, and new shelters. Germany is expanding its military, with plans to double troop numbers and reconsider long taboo policies. Scandinavia's rising defenses threaten Russian expansion even further. This is no longer a distant threat, it's a continental reinvention: war rooms, military drills, and strategic alliances taking shape in the shadows. The question is, how long can Russia overlook this new reality? The game is changing. The clock is ticking. The surprise? All these moves are happening with arrogant confidence, but their alarms are ringing loud and clear in Moscow's corridors. The balance of power is shifting. Are they paying attention? Or are they still thinking in old maps? Because in today's warfare, speed and precision are everything. And right now, Romania is rewriting the rules. Romania has transformed from a passive defender into a strategic security provider along the Black Sea. No longer just a guardian of borders, it now plays a pivotal role in regional power dynamics. This shift, publicly announced by the Romanian defense minister in a renewed national defense plan, signals a new era. But this isn't just words on paper, it's a tangible military development backed by concrete infrastructure and steel in the field. Imagine a facility unlike any typical military base. Under construction now, this new hub is poised to become NATO's second-largest logistics and supply center for Ukraine, after Poland's Zajew base. Yet, what truly sets it apart from Poland is its location and function. While Poland supplies the northern and western fronts of Ukraine, this southern corridor through Romania cuts deep into the heart of conflict zones like Donbas, Kherson, and Crimea, areas where fierce fighting rages. This logistical shortcut is a nightmare for Russia. The last-mile problem has haunted armies for ages, a complex challenge in supply chains. Now, Romania is ending this nightmare for Ukraine, but unknowingly igniting chaos for Russia. This center isn't just a depot for weapons. It boasts an ultra-fast supply system, known as the Priority Ukraine Requirements List, which renders traditional delays obsolete. Weapons and ammunition will flow instantly, no waiting for approvals, no political signatures. Once a package enters the system, it moves swiftly via Romania's rail and road networks, aimed directly at the front lines. The stakes are even higher when considering the technical capabilities. This isn't merely a storage facility. It's a repair and maintenance hub for advanced weapon systems, electronic warfare devices, counter-battery radars, NATO's most sophisticated air defense units. Damaged tanks, artillery pieces, or radars no longer need to be transported across borders, they can be repaired swiftly behind friendly lines. Satellite imagery has revealed the massive infrastructure work at Romania's Mikhail Kogolniceanu Air Base. The scope of this project is breathtaking, an entire new military artery that's reshaping regional power. This facility not only supplies Ukraine but also elevates Romania's own military standards, modernizing their tanks and building deterrent naval forces against Russia's navy in the Black Sea. The once ragged southern flank is now a solid steel chain, crushing Russian hopes of a swift victory. Russia's strategic assumptions are crumbling. For years, they believed cutting Ukraine's supply routes in the north would be enough to seize victory. But now, they face a new reality: two unstoppable supply lines, one from the north, one from the south. A multi-front attack that leaves their efforts fractured and futile. Any missile strike, sabotage, or attack targeted at these logistical hubs would have to be coordinated across hundreds of kilometers and almost impossible feat. Furthermore, the infrastructure is heavily protected. The radar-guarded, missile-shielded base at Deveselu, with its Aegis Ashore system, creates an invisible fortress. Moscow's threats of striking these centers reveal an undeniable fear. They know these fortified hubs are nearly untouchable. This shield guarantees continuous aid to Ukraine and crushes Russia's attempts at ballistic blackmailing. The ripple effects extend beyond military logistics. This corridor is a lifeline for Ukraine's exports and energy supplies, undermining Russia's efforts to choke Ukraine economically. Their attempts to sabotage the Black Sea grain routes have failed, thanks to Romanian ports and rail networks. The economic and strategic chokehold Russia sought has turned into a crumbling illusion. In the wider geopolitical landscape, Romania's expansion echoes across Moldova and the fragile Transnistria region. NATO's logistical presence makes Russian influence in these areas nearly irrelevant. The pattern is clear: a new regional balance, powered by steel and strategy, emerges at full force. This isn't an isolated event, it signals Europe's awakening after decades of dormancy. Modern European nations are throwing aside apathy. Defense budgets skyrocket, borders are fortified with minefields and trenches, and armies are preparing for the unthinkable. Poland's defense budget alone for next year is nearly 4.7% of its economy, a record-breaking figure. Germany plans to grow its army from 180,000 to 260,000 soldiers and reintroduce compulsory service. Scandinavian countries fortify their borders, transforming regions into virtually impenetrable zones. The continent is mobilizing. The question remains: how long can this unprecedented reshaping of power hold? What surprises lie ahead as this new epic unfolds? One thing is certain: nothing will be the same after this awakening. The strategic ring around Ukraine is now complete: Poland to the north and Romania to the south. This dual encirclement creates an unbreakable defensive barrier, making Russia's military plans increasingly fragile. To understand the full impact, imagine a crushing vice tightening day by day, leaving no room for escape or surprise. If Russia shifts its focus to Poland, weapons traveling through Romania will keep fueling fighting in Donbass and Crimea. Conversely, if Moscow concentrates on the south, armored reinforcements from the north will bolster the Kiev and Kharkiv defenses. This dilemma creates a lethal trap for Russian commanders. Each move you make, another front opens wider. This, in essence, is a method of strategic suffocation. The Russian forces are forced into a no-win situation. Their missiles and sabotage teams are no longer targeting one location, they face a sprawling, coordinated web stretching thousands of kilometers along the border. Every day, this network grows tighter, more impenetrable. But here's the shocking truth: these logistical hubs are not simple supply stations. The Devasalu base in Romania is shielded by an advanced missile defense system, the Aegis Ashore. An invisible barrier makes it nearly impossible to strike effectively. The Russian government has repeatedly called these bases priority targets, yet every threat highlights their fear. They know that under the Aegis shield, this fortress is virtually untouchable. It's a security wall protecting Ukraine's supplies and nullifying any Russian ballistic threats. The consequences extend beyond the battlefield. This route through Romania acts as a lifeline for Ukraine's weapons, exports, and energy supplies. Attempts by Russia to disrupt the Black Sea grain corridor are failing. Romania's vital port at Constanta and its rail connections ensure that Ukraine's economy keeps moving, keeping Moscow's blockade plans in check. This is a devastating blow to Russia's effort to economically strangle Ukraine, an effort now crippled. The ripple effects don't stop there. In Moldova and the separatist region of Transnistria, Romania's military and logistical buildup reduces Moscow's hybrid warfare influence. The shift in regional power is undeniable. With NATO's second-largest supply hub nearby, Russian separatists have little hope of maintaining their strategic advantage. In this new layout, Russia faces an impossible choice: attack one flank, risking supply lines from the other. Each possibility feeds into a larger strategy of suffocation, leaving Moscow scrambling for answers. The once confident Kremlin finds itself hemmed in by a web of rapid logistics, advanced defenses, and strategic alliances. Every day, the Russian military's options shrink, its plans unraveling before their eyes. Are they truly prepared to face this new reality? The expansion of logistical hubs in Romania signifies a profound shift in Europe's posture, highlighting a decisive move away from passive neutrality. This strategic development obliterates Moscow's hopes of exploiting Moldova and the separatist Transnistria region. With NATO's second-largest supply center sitting just across the border, Russian forces in the region are effectively powerless. The influence once wielded by Moscow there has been shattered. Imagine the quiet hum of military trucks and the scent of fresh concrete at the new Romanian base. It's now a fortress, an unbreakable link in NATO's chain. Russia's gambit of leveraging Transnistria as a strategic pawn now appears futile. The game has changed entirely. From this, a much larger truth emerges: Europe is waking from a sleepy slumber born after decades of peace. Whole continent is switching gears. Leaders are not just issuing diplomatic statements anymore. Their actions speak loudly: billions in defense budgets, mandatory military service, fortified shelters. The days of hesitation are gone. In Northern Europe, the scene is no less dramatic. Poland has launched an unprecedented fortification drive, dedicating 4.7% of its gross domestic product to defense in 2025, an extraordinary figure. The Eastern Shield project transforms Poland's border into an unbreachable barrier. Massive trenches, guarded watchtowers, minefields, these are not symbols of peace, but weapons of war. A line so formidable, it can halt any Russian advance at the first step. Germany has also stepped into the arena. The nation is set to expand its armed forces from 180,000 to 260,000 soldiers, shattering a long-standing pacifist stance. The debate on mandatory conscription has reopened, and the military is preparing for a new reality. The question now is, how long can Europe keep its guard up before war comes knocking again? These giant leaps show a continent fully awakening. No longer asleep, Europe stands ready, mobilized, modern, determined. The silent threat looms closer every day, yet the defenses grow stronger, more consolidated. The question remains, will these efforts hold in the face of the unyielding brutal force across the border? Or is this just the beginning of Europe's most critical chapter? Can you imagine a single button press shattering the Kremlin's Black Sea empire? Romania just struck that blow, turning Putin's supposed dominance into a crumbling farce. How blind could Moscow be to this looming catastrophe? Continuing from Germany's bold shift, where Berlin awakens from its pacifist slumber, ramping up troops from 180,000 to 260,000 and igniting taboo debates on mandatory service, with Defense Minister Pistorius leading the charge, viewing Russia no longer as a partner, but a dire existential menace. This seismic change crushes Putin's divide-and-rule energy gambits, exposing their utter collapse. The cracks spread northward, where Scandinavia forges an unyielding fortress. France vows to double its reserve forces by 2030, breaths of fresh snow mixing with the clang of assembling armor. Denmark stretches conscription lengths, embracing women in this grit, weaving a social tapestry of vigilance, a sonic boom announcing Scandinavia's iron rise. Sweden and Finland's NATO merge seals the Baltic as an allied pond, waves lapping coldly against Russian shores. Now, Romania surges from the south, forging an unbroken bastion from Baltic to Black Sea. Feel the pulsing tension, the metallic bite of steel lines choking Russia's breath. This barrier chokes Moscow, not defends it. Imagine the suffocating grip of isolation, room shrinking to zero, a strategic noose tightening. Ukraine's invasion backfired spectacularly on Putin, NATO not repelled, but entrenched deeper than ever. Borders once soft yield to armed bulwarks. Motivated legions bound by unbreakable ties. The scent of gunpowder lingers in the air, a guttural roar of alliance echo. Romania's pivot seals the ultimate chain. Trapped in its own war, Russia suffocates on its imperial ashes. Picture it, no doors ajar, no windows gassed, Putin's ploy to starve Ukraine undone by Bucharest's Warsaw Link. The acrid odor of defeat, heart-pounding dread. Poland's northern east shield, a vertical Maginot with anti-tank scars, underground layers, mine-laden fields, towers piercing horizons, crushing any Russian surge at dawn's first glare. Romania's southern logistics vice clamps Russia's European gate ambitions. Cliffhanger twist. But does the Kremlin have one final, desperate gamble hidden in the shadows, or is this the end of Russia's roar? Crackling static whispers potential sabotage, yet the shield holds firm. Flow onward. By early 2026, the strategic landscape has shifted dramatically in the Black Sea. It's not just about territorial control anymore. Russia's logistical and strategic vulnerabilities have been exposed and fundamentally altered. The old balance of power remains unbroken in the water, but beneath the surface, everything has been rewritten. Moscow faces a bleak future with no safe routes and no easy exits. A stark message from Bucharest echoes across the region: you can't cut off Ukraine's vital supply lines anymore. Russia isn't facing a single nation, it's up against an entire continent. The game has changed. The maritime scene has become a nightmare for Moscow. A coalition of Turkey, Bulgaria, and Romania has launched a powerful mine clearance operation. On paper, it's about clearing sea mines and safeguarding trade routes. But the real goal? A strategic hold on the Black Sea, effectively ending Russia's naval blockade. The Russian Black Sea Fleet has already been immobilized. Ukraine's naval drones and missile strikes keep Russian ships locked in port. A united NATO naval force has transformed the western Black Sea into a safe passage for commerce. The once inaccessible gray zone is now a bustling corridor of trade and aid. Moscow's bluff that it could block grain exports has crumbled. On the ground, ships patrolling Romanian waters have crushed that illusion, turning it into a shell of a threat. Energy is the next battlefield. Romania's Neptune natural gas project in the Black Sea is a game-changer. It's now bringing billions of cubic meters of gas to Europe, stripping away Moscow's leverage. Putin's long-held threat to cut off the gas supply? It's losing its teeth. Romania is not just an energy producer now, it's an energy hub, siphoning Moscow's market share. This dual assault on logistics and energy signifies Russia's decline in influence. It's no longer a regional power but a part of the global chessboard being forced into retreat. The entire continent is mobilizing, uniting in ways unseen since the Cold War's end. Europe's awakening is real, no longer dormant but fiercely resilient. The old Russian order is cracking under the weight of this new reality. And behind the scenes, this isn't just about military strength. It's a relentless push forward and unstoppable momentum. Each victory is a blow to the Kremlin's confidence, each success a step toward reshaping the future of the region. The question remains, how long can Moscow's strategy hold together in the face of this relentless, coordinated attack? The clock is ticking. The new era dawns, and the game's rules have changed forever. In January 2026, a seismic shift has taken place in the Black Sea region. The balance of power is no longer what it once was. Romania has transformed from a quiet neighbor into a vital strategic fortress. This tiny nation is now spearheading NATO's boldest move, sealing off Russia's ambitions in Eastern Europe. The question is, can Putin's forces respond before the entire region slips from his grasp? Picture this, a quiet but relentless fortress emerging along the Danube Delta. Romania's new military hub is no ordinary base. It's NATO's second-largest logistics center. An ultra-fast supply chain that delivers weapons and supplies directly to Ukraine's front lines. This is no bureaucratic paper ideal, it's a battlefield game-changer. The moment cargo is loaded, it races through Romanian railways and roads. No political signatures, no delays, just swift delivery. Soldiers and officials describe it as a strategic artery pumping vital aid into Ukraine. And it is working, every second counts on the battlefield. This logistics powerhouse isn't just a storage unit. It's also a repair station. Sophisticated electronic systems, radars, advanced weaponry, all repaired quickly behind the front lines. Tanks, artillery, radars, none need to journey hundreds of kilometers anymore. Romanian facilities are transforming into cutting-edge military workshops. Satellite images reveal massive infrastructure expanding at Mikhail Kobalnikianu Air Base. This isn't hidden anymore, it is a symbol of Romania's rapid modernization. They're arming their own forces, upgrading equipment, and building a formidable regional power. While Russia struggles in Ukraine, Romania's army is rising with multi-billion-dollar programs, acquiring F-35 fighters, and reinforcing naval defenses. They're becoming a regional bulwark, armed with steel and firepower. The strategic implications are terrifying for Moscow. NATO's supply routes form an unbreakable ring around Ukraine. Poland in the north, Romania in the south, forming a steel pincer. Russia's traditional assumption that cutting Ukraine's northern supply line would be enough to force surrender has crumbled. Now, an entire continent acts as a shield, and Russian forces are caught in a relentless squeeze. Any attack, be it missile, drone, or sabotage, must now target a multifaceted network stretching thousands of kilometers. It's a nightmare scenario for Putin's generals. The Russian Navy, once confident in its Black Sea dominance, has been pushed into port. NATO's joint efforts with civilian fleets have turned the Black Sea into a safe corridor for aid and trade. Russian attempts to blockade grain shipments? Broken, crushed under NATO's watchful eyes. And the energy front? It's tipping decisively. Romania's gas fields in the Black Sea, especially the Neptune project, are flooding Europe with Russian paralyzing volumes of natural gas. Putin's threat to cut off supplies? No longer effective. Romania's exports flood into Europe, stealing Moscow's market share and undermining Russia's energy leverage. No longer just a military outpost, Romania is now a major regional energy hub. A fatal blow to Gazprom's dominance. Further tightening the noose. Romania's control over the Danube Delta cripples Russia's river-based supply routes to Ukraine's ports. The river route to Ismail and Reni remains vital, protected by Romanians' air defenses and surveillance. Their radar systems detect and neutralize nightly drone assaults. NATO radars ping the incoming Shahid drones instantly. The cross-border data fusion acts as an invisible wall, rendering Russian terror tactics ineffective. Zooming out, a stark picture emerges: Russia's former sense of strategic depth has been erased. The Baltic Sea to the north, the Black Sea to the south, and eastern plains to the west, each now under the watchful eye of NATO. The buffer zone that once shielded Russia from attack has been shattered. NATO's forward defense line stands proud and unyielding. For the first time in decades, Moscow faces a direct line leading straight to its doorstep. Every possible avenue for future assaults is threatening to be cut off. Romania's rise signifies more than mere military expansion. It's a decisive move in a global chess game. It's the checkmate in the Western strategy to encircle Russia. The Kremlin's options are rapidly shrinking. Every flank is protected, every supply route blocked, every strategic advantage secured. The question now echoes, can Putin's forces break free from this tightening noose? Or will the border lines Romania and Poland solidify into an unstoppable barrier, leaving Russia vulnerable and Ukraine empowered? What do you think? Is there a way for Moscow to escape this Black Sea trap? Or has the Western encirclement sealed its fate forever? The future of Eastern Europe and possibly the entire continent rests on the answer. Earlier, we uncovered how this hub transcends mere ammo storage. It's a vital repair shop for high-tech gear, electronic warfare systems, counter-battery radars, and cutting-edge air defense tech. Imagine the roar of engines, the clank of armor vibrating under skilled hands, the sharp scent of oil mixing with smoke. Now, battered armored units on Ukraine's southern fronts no longer face grueling journeys. Thousands of miles to Poland for fixes? Gone. Romania's bases are rebirth factories. Picture the gritty clang of tools, the hiss of welding torches fusing ingot strength back into Leopard tanks or Caesar howitzers. Scars of battle vanish. Engines rumble anew. These machines race back to the fray, unleashing fury and resilience where it counts most. This is the deadly cure for Russia's grind-them-down tactics. Can Putin withstand this daring counterstrike? Open-source intel and satellite shots have long revealed the colossal build at Mikhail Kogalny-Kanu Air Base and beyond. But clarity hits now, like a thunderclap through fog. These upgrades don't just bolster Ukraine, they forge Romania's forces into NATO's sharpened spear. Bucharest pumps billions into tank overhauls, chasing the EF-F-35 jets, erecting a formidable fleet to challenge Russian ships in the Black Sea. Feel the salty spray, hear the waves crashing against hulls gleaming with fresh paint. While Russia drowns in Ukraine's mire, a powerhouse rises. Head-to-toe armed, with arteries of steel pulsing life. Logistics, the cold math of war. Romania joins the sum, crushing Russia's formulas. Kremlin minds once pinned Ukraine's weakness on Polish borders. Cut the Jezo lifeline? Kiev's defenses crumble, they thought. Illusion shattered. Suddenly, the south surges. NATO clamps an unyielding vice, a logistical noose around Ukraine. North, Poland. South, Romania. This redundancy banishes single failure doom. For Russian brass, pure horror. If they hammer Poland, southern flows sustain Donbass and Crimea. Target south? Northern reinforcements flood Kiev and Kharkiv lines. A smothering bind. Missiles and saboteurs scatter against a vast, linked web spanning border miles. And it's cinching tighter. Yet Russia lunges, blind and thrashing in this trap. What if Moscow's shadow fades forever under this relentless squeeze? Waves crash louder, thrashing against unyielding coastlines, as the front line tenses. Can Putin's grip hold, or will the world witness his ultimate unraveling? The storm gathers, unseen forces converging in whispers of metal and resolve. And in the distance, a faint tremor hints at shockwaves yet to erupt.